You're listening to the Low Pressure Podcast, the podcast for skiers.
Presented by CMH Heli Skiing and Peak Performance.
The Low Pressure Podcast is sponsored by CMH Heli Skiing, where you can choose from 11 unique locations and experiences, including 4, 5, 6, and 7-day signature trips, the brand new single-day trips. You can do small groups with just you, 4 friends, and a guide, or the private and exclusive, where you get the whole place just to yourself. So find your next adventure at cmhheli.com. The Low Pressure Podcast is also sponsored by Peak Performance. There are many ways to make it down a mountain, but the best line is your line. And the adventure is there, so make it yours. Visit peakperformance.com and get the gear to unlock your free ride spirit.
Let's do this.
All right, here you go. Cheers.
Right. Cheers to the last episode
Of the season, yeah. Nice to see you.
Great to see you too. Yeah. It's been a while.
You've been out and about for a lot of this winter. Like it seems like you've been killing it.
Yeah. I think the start of the winter was pretty slow going.
It was slow going for everybody.
Yeah.
It sucked.
So it's crazy that the winter worked out so well.
In the end?
Yeah.
Why so well? Tell me. So let's kind of run through some of your trips here.
Okay.
We'll get right into that. I'm going to move that a little bit closer. There you go. Perfect.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, tell me about your winter.
So the first trip that we went on, Janelle and I went to Japan with.
Oh, I forgot you were in Japan too.
Yeah.
Was that your first
how
time?
we started off the winter.
Was that your first time
I
there?
barely skied before that. No, we were there last year too with
Okay.
MSP.
Yeah.
Actually.
Yeah.
But we just went for ourselves and the North Face. And
Oh, really? Just to do your own little something or other?
we just made like social videos and they're
Really?
not out yet, but
Oh, okay. I was going to say like.
Janelle's editing them.
Oh,
so.
okay. So you got. Okay, I didn't even know that. All right. So it's
Yeah.
going to be all blondes all the time next season.
Yeah.
Yeah. Taking over
We're
the
back.
Taking over the
We
world.
took a break, but we're back.
You didn't really though. You just were.
I mean, we had like most of the year off skiing all the time together.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
The last 2 seasons, we skied all the time together,
Yeah.
24/7.
Right.
Yeah.
So let's dive into that then. We'll go back to what you've been doing
Okay.
before. Maybe
Rewind.
that'll be like the thread that like branches off to all the different stories, right? So, I don't know if anybody's really said it out loud or whatever, but people are like, "Oh, the blondes breaking up, or they doing this or whatever." Like,
Yeah. No, they've been saying it out loud. Everywhere I go, they're like, "Are you guys fighting?"
are they saying it to you, or it's
Yeah.
like I'm just saying I haven't seen it written or
Yeah.
like,
No, they say it to me. They're just like, "What's the scoop?"
you guys not friends anymore?
Yeah, we're not friends. No, we're definitely.
That's
friends.
why you all came in individually. You
Yeah.
can't. Yeah, I was.
Can't be in the same
I
room.
was told. I was told very specifically that you would not be in the same room as each other, so I'd have to do these all individually.
Yeah. No, we're definitely very much still friends, best friends, and
Yeah.
we're still gonna work together.
Yeah. Exactly. So, and like I was talking about this. So you're the third to come in.
Yeah.
So I was talking to Tanya.
Ooh,
and,
what did they say about me?
Well, you'll just have to listen and find out, and then we'll start a whole new round of like blondes gossip.
Yeah.
Blonde celebrity ski gossip. I'll make like a cheap tabloid, just like
Oh, that'd be good. Yeah.
the LPP rag.
Ski Weekly.
Yeah, ski. Yeah, right. Ski Weekly. So and so's dating this person.
That'd be good, actually.
It probably would do very well, but it's just it would and it wouldn't.
We should make that.
If you guys made it, I think you can pull it off. Yeah, if someone like myself.
No,
made
we
it,
need you. You're in touch with everyone.
Oh, yeah, we'll see.
Get, like-
Yeah, I'm the gossip monger of the ski industry. We'll chat after this goes off.
Okay.
All right, so tell me why that you guys broke up. No, I was kidding. So we were talking about it, and I talked to like Tanya when she originally, I guess, is now moved over to Arc'teryx,
Yep.
right?
The
And
dark side.
yeah, and people are like, "Oh no, this is like the beginning of the end." And she kind of explained like they had approached her early on, and she's like, "Yeah, no, we're as a group or we're nothing, or it's not happening." And they're like, "All right, cool, you do your thing," and then I guess they're just paying attention. And now you guys are at a stage where you're all so accomplished and you're all so good at what you're doing that for you to be a team and have all the same sponsors, you aren't doing right for yourselves individually.
Yeah.
Right? Like a company isn't going to be like, all right, we got 3 of these contracts to give to all 3 of you. That's
Totally.
not going to happen.
Yeah. And because they started out like that, they, they don't try to, but they teach it. They treat us as one person almost.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah.
Some of the companies
it works
that you work
out
with.
good in some ways, but in some ways
communication is good, and then you guys all
Totally.
know what to expect from each other, and like everybody knows what's going on, right?
Yeah.
But at the same time, you're in the prime of your skiing career, right? You have the ability to earn more. If we're just talking like financially.
Yeah, exactly.
And you'll get more attention from potentially from some of these sponsors and all that kind of stuff. So
yeah, you kind of make your own path too and do some more stuff individually, which is nice.
Yeah. It's just a natural progression of how things work.
Exactly.
Right?
And we knew that someday that time would come, and that time is now, and that's okay.
Yeah, and you guys are navigating it well.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Aside from the fact that you won't be seen in the same room at the same time.
Yeah, other than that.
But whatever, good. You guys can keep up appearances and whatever. keep perpetuating the vision of the brand.
Yeah, yeah.
So you guys were in Japan.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, me and Janelle.
Yeah, because as Tanya mentioned, like she blew her knee out.
Yep, poor Tanya.
Would she have been on the Japan trip too?
She would have probably been there. Well, actually, it was a North Face trip, so.
Oh yeah, so maybe not.
Maybe not. That's the things that we're looking at. Like we'll have to actually schedule trips. Make things together.
Right.
Instead of just assuming that we're going together.
Yeah, right. And you know what? That's not a bad thing because, like, for instance, like for my friends at home, like people I grew up with down in Vancouver, I see them more. Like I've moved to Vancouver a couple times over the last 20 years. I moved to Vancouver twice to think like, I got to go back home and start a real job and stuff. And I lasted like a few months of the summer. I was like, October came around. I was like, I'm out of here. So I left. But I didn't see them. I see them more living up here because I make a point of it. They make a point of coming up here. I make a point of going down there.
Yeah.
So when you're like around all the time, you just kind of take it for granted.
Yeah.
Whereas, so maybe...
Now that Janelle lives in Squamish, we don't see each other very much. Unless she has like a package at my house or something.
She gets mail sent to you?
She's like, hey.
That's like her secret way of like...
It's not that we don't want to hang out, but it's just like, oh, you're around. You just feel like you're close, but then it's like, man, I haven't seen you in a while.
Right. So it's like when you know you're going to be somewhere.
Totally.
It's so funny. Like I've been on like trips where I'll be in a different country and I'll know someone from Whistler is there and I'll be like, hey, let's get together and hang out, right? And you go and you'll have a great time and you're like, well, I'll see you next time I run into you some random place in the world. Yeah.
Totally.
So that's cool. Funny. So just thinking about how to weave through this episode. Let's continue on with your trips for this.
That was the first trip.
So Japan, it was just you and Janelle, and who'd you go? Who
Janelle
else
and Eric Parker and Anatole.
Oh yeah, Anatole's he's like the blonde's photographer. Yeah. He's like the fourth blonde.
Filmer. He is. Yeah, he puts up with all of our shit.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, he's a legend.
And he's just such a mellow dude.
So calm and
I think that's exactly what you need.
That's exactly what we need, yeah.
Because I remember being at the place in Emerald and you guys dancing on the tables and he was just chilling on the couch.
He's just like, he's always happy. He's like, yeah, we can do that. Yeah. This is like, he's not like, sending it.
Yeah, he's like a nice balance.
But he will.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. But he's a good balance.
He's perfect balance.
He's a great balance for you.
Yeah,
so,
we hope to do more stuff with him.
Because he did a lot of Blondes projects too.
He was working. He does all kinds of things. This year he just did that with us, and then he was working with the Blank guys up in Alaska. Actually, while I was there, I saw him for a second.
No way.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. Like you said, running into your buds.
Totally.
Random spots in the world. So Japan, and then so that was what, January, February?
Yeah, January we went there. Yeah, and then February we were back here, and waiting for snow.
It was dry and garbage. Yep.
Yeah. So then I went up north. Actually, again, I went up to Stewart with the Last Frontier.
Yep.
And did like some client skiing.
Client skiing?
Yeah.
What's that all about?
Lucas Walks, and it was like media for them.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
So you were like, oh, amazing. So they were just,
awesome.
they're taking like brochure photos and stuff?
Yeah.
So I get to ski in Alaska, heli ski in Alaska, but I don't have to like do crazy spines.
Northern BC.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
But great.
Yeah. It was.
How'd you
really
get connected with that?
Lucas just called me like the day before.
Yeah.
We left, and I guess the guy that was supposed to go for him.
Yeah.
He broke off somewhere.
Yeah.
And then the girl also, she got sick, so they needed a replacement last minute. And
so you're both replacements?
Yeah. So we just went, and I didn't know anyone. He didn't really know anyone, and it was sweet. It was so much fun.
And then just hanging out in the heli lodge?
We were just hanging out with the clients and just skiing laps and taking photos.
So was it like a ski with a pro kind of a thing?
No, it was just like brochure style.
Brochure shooting?
Yeah.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah, it was so much fun.
Was it the best trip of the year?
It was seriously so fun. But at the same time, so because you're just skiing like mellow stuff.
Getting heli belly.
It was almost a little bit frustrating, if I'm being really honest.
Mm-hmm.
Like we were like,
because you gotta
I
wait.
just want to jump off something huge,
right?
But I can't.
Yeah.
Because you need to like look like a client.
Right.
Like you're there to do a job, right?
Oh, yes.
But that's not like the usual job that you do. That's not the job that you're good at. You want to like throw yourself off something.
So I get it. So you weren't skiing as Emily and Lucas.
No.
You were skiing as like Joe millionaire.
Totally. And his wife.
And his
My
wife.
wife.
Yeah. With like really like
It was really
doing
funny.
heli turns.
Yeah.
Instead of like opening up big GS
And
turns.
turns out it's like not that easy. Like I was like struggling. I was like, I don't know how to ski like this.
Yeah, right? The short little, like tight little turns. Normally you do like 6 and then you end up doing like 40. And your legs were probably just fried.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I know. I was like, wow, this is actually kind of tiring. And like sometimes they were like, Emily, you're blowing it.
Yeah. Did they tell you?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
The photographer was pretty like passionate and like full on. Great guy. Super, super fun to shoot with, but he would tell you straight up like, no, you blew it. That was not the shot. Like, oh, okay.
How humbling is that?
Oh, yeah. I was
like, don't you know who I am?
Am I bad at skiing? What's going on? By the end of that trip, I was like, I gotta get out of here.
Oh, Jesus. And then did you get paid for that, or they just
No, it was free. But I've always wanted to go up there and like scope out the area, so I was pumped to go. And same with Lucas.
Did you get to sit in the front seat? Because like you told them that you're. Did you tell them you were a heli pilot?
I did tell them that. No, I did sit in the front, but that's only because I was the smallest. And they needed to have less weight up there.
Yeah, fair
but
enough.
Yeah, our pilot was a gangster. He was really cool.
All right, so this is another good little segue. So this is how it's going to work. We're going to go all of your trips, and then we're going to bust off into the other stuff. So one of the things that I like to talk about is kind of like, I guess, how, like what your history and where you came from. So we can either do it chronologically or we can just jump in.
Yeah, whichever.
Let's just jump in. So
Okay.
One of the cool things about you, which you'll see in the film that you guys had out, right? We were talking about
It's on YouTube.
Anatole
Yep.
and the film, which is called?
What did we call it? How did we get here?
You drove.
How did we get home?
How did we get here? So,
How did we get back to where we were?
Yeah. Good. Nice. Focus. That's how. So yeah, you did the film. How did we get here?
Yeah.
Which is kind of like the history of the three of you.
Yeah.
Which I had already had ideas of getting you guys on the podcast. When I heard you're doing that, I was like, oh, I'll wait till the film comes out. And I wanted to get you guys on earlier.
Yeah.
but you're all you
All
guys,
over the
yeah,
place and
you were all over the place.
chaotic.
So we're ending the season with it strong with the blondes, just like we did like 4 years ago. We ended with you guys.
Yeah, that was 4 years ago. Hey.
Yep, that was a long time. That's when you were just kind of getting started, just learning who you guys were.
It's cool.
Teaching the world. We're here to stay. So we'll get back to it. Everyone's like, shut up, dude. Just get to it. So, all right, you're a heli pilot, which is really excited. And that came out. They didn't really cover much of that, as much as I think I would have liked in the film.
It was hard to tie in, to be honest.
Right, because
We
they're
were
just...
literally just going to throw it in there and be like, let's keep them guessing.
Oh, yeah, she flies helicopter. Or don't even tell anything and just have
That's
you
what
like
we were
behind...
gonna do. Yeah,
behind,
we're like, how did they get a helicopter?
behind the controls of a helicopter. We're like, is that Emily
How
flying
did they
that thing?
get that?
So how did you end up flying helicopter? How did you end up becoming a helicopter pilot?
Well, I was 25, living in Revelstoke,
Mm-hmm.
and like 6 people to a house,
Right?
doing the pro skier thing. My
Mhm.
family was asking like, are you going to go back to school or like,
Yeah.
so kind of having a quarter life crisis,
Yeah.
as you do.
Mm-hmm.
And I decided to just go to helicopter pilot school in Abbotsford. And I just did. I just went.
And it didn't take you very long.
Nope, it's about 6 months
That's it?
or less.
To learn how to fly a helicopter?
Yeah. Scary, right?
So, my mom gave me
Don't
helicopter
just get
flying.
in with anyone.
My mom gave me helicopter flying lessons for like my birthday when I was like 16 or something.
Oh, no way.
I'm like, this is a joke gift. All right, all right. I never followed up on it, but then every once in a while I think about it. I'm like, it doesn't take 6. Like, did you have any like
It's 100 hours. 100 hours of flight time.
to learn how to fly a helicopter?
Yep.
That's it?
Yep.
Come on.
Yeah. Careful who you get in with.
That's amazing. All right, because I was like, wait a minute. Like, I thought that had been like a 3 or 4 year process, but I'm sure like you have to get hours beyond that.
Yeah.
too,
So
right?
once you have your license,
Mhm.
you're kind of nobody. Like nobody wants to hire you.
Mhm.
It's hard to get a job. That's kind of the hard part,
Right.
as they say. And yeah, so you just have
So you get your license, and then what? Then what happens?
Then you try to get a job somewhere with a company.
So that's what you did.
Usually they'll hire you as like a ground crew or a co-pilot. I was fortunate to get a co-pilot position in Squamish.
Right, where you kind of live in.
Right out. Well, that's why I moved to Squamish.
That's why you moved. Oh,
Yeah.
you didn't move out here because of the mountains and stuff. Well, little column A, little column B.
Yeah, so I was in Revelstoke before that.
Yeah.
And then I moved out to Squamish because I got the job with Black Tusk.
Oh.
And then, yeah.
I thought that was a ski industry move.
Yeah, I mean, it worked out well.
Yeah.
I mean, I would have, chose Squamish
Right.
for sure.
Yeah.
That was like the dream.
Mhm.
I was like, oh, if I can get the job there one day.
Right.
But I was pretty ready to move up north and like, put things on the back burner. Like at that moment, it was like we weren't getting paid and we were just kind of messing around.
You're still skiing like for fun.
Skiing for fun.
Right.
Yeah, which is always fun, but
Yeah.
you have to make some money somehow.
Yeah, exactly. And then so what, you started doing that like 3 years ago?
5 years ago.
5 years ago?
Yeah.
And you started working for the logging company, I guess, or is it like a
Yeah, it's a helicopter company, but yeah, they do.
Oh, and they get contracted out by like
They do
logging companies and
all
by like all
forestry,
mine-
firefighting,
Right.
tourism. Yeah, we do a bit of everything, which is fun.
So like, what's a regular day for you, or is there a regular day for you there?
Yeah, I mean, it's always different.
Other than
which is what I really
taking
like.
like Instagram stories of that fat cat in the office.
Oh, the cat passed away.
Oh no,
I
heart
know.
attack because he was so fat.
He was ill from helicopter fluids, probably.
Oh no.
Poor thing.
Oh man.
Actually, she lived a long time though. Her name was Tippy. She lived like 16 years. I
Oh
think
yeah,
she
it was okay. And then
she's
she
pretty
was
old.
old age.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Come on.
Died of old age. So it's like a regular day for you.
Yeah, so it depends, like summer or spring or fall, but there might be ski touring drop off. I did that the other day up to the Haverhill Hut.
Mhm.
Drop people off, pick people up in the Tantalus there. Or like forestry stuff, so go and like drop people up the Squamish
Like
Valley or
staff or
up to
whatever, right?
Sioux.
Yeah.
Yeah, industry workers. Do a lot of logging.
Mhm.
So I do like the logging support, bring the fallers and the hill crew up the hill and and then bring them off.
And then are you responsible for like a lot of the maintenance? Maybe not like full maintenance, but like daily maintenance and checks and all that kind of stuff.
We do like daily inspections,
Mm-hmm.
but we don't do like the maintenance really.
No, really? So like
we check the oil levels. You know.
Yeah, it's like so like I've done like
we have engineers.
I do like shuttle driving and stuff, right? But like when I go to drive a shuttle to go pick people up to drop them off for their canoe trip or something, you got to do like the full
walk around.
And you get to touch everything. Yeah. It's the pre-trip inspection, and like
yeah, it's kind of like that.
You do the same thing.
Totally. Yeah.
And you're like
maybe a little more in depth.
Yeah, I would hope so. we had a chick once not check the oil on a Hummer. And seized the engine like halfway up Whistler Mountain, like just fully seized. It was like a $10,000 engine. So yeah, I'd hope so. Like, have you ever had those moments where you're like flying over something and you just been like, "Oh, did I check that?"
I mean, the fuel cap is probably like one thing that you're just like fueling it.
Make sure it's screwed on.
Make sure that it's on.
Is there not like a
but
little...
I can look over my shoulder like that.
You see the fuel flying.
Well, you can see the cap is on. So occasionally I will do that, but most things like you're so structured in your morning, like you walk around and you
checklist
do,
and you have to sign off on it. I'm sure.
Yeah, you have like a logbook that you sign off, but
right.
No, not very often or never really. Am I thinking, I didn't check that? It's like.
Right, like
you do. You check
you know what I mean. Like when
morning.
You're somewhere and you're like, "Oh, did I turn the stove off?" Like that kind of thing.
Yes, yeah, there is things like that. So we unplug the battery every night, and sometimes I've driven back and be like, "Did I do it? Yes, I did it."
Right. Call somebody and be like, "Can you check this?
Can you check this?" Yeah.
That's cool. And then so like long term, obviously, now that you have this skill, and then you have some work experience now, and you've got a good job. I'm sure other opportunities will work. It's like will present themselves now that you have, like you said, the hardest part is getting in. But once you're in, do you have like ideas of maybe becoming one of those heli pilots that drops people off on like the knife edge ridge? Like, like you've done a lot of heli skiing, and I'm sure while you're in the helicopter, like you were last week, you're looking and paying attention and seeing what they're doing and maybe chatting with the pilot after about do you can see yourself maybe working for one of those outfits?
I mean, we do heli skiing with the company that I work for now, like a bit.
Yeah.
We just have one machine, but maybe one day is all I can really say. Because I like skiing so much that it would be hard to be, doing the
on the other side
other side of it right now.
Maybe a knee injury or something one day.
And it's really hard.
Yeah, right.
But it is hard. It's hard flying. Like I'm not at that point.
Maybe in like 20 years or something like that. If there's still snow around.
There will be.
Yeah, Oh, that's really cool. So like helicopter pilot. I wasn't really sure if it was like you were working for, but it's like a helicopter company that does like a whole bunch of different stuff.
Yeah.
Which is probably really exciting because you get to do something different all the time.
Yeah. Yeah. I really like that part about it. Yeah.
So how like you obviously get a chance to take off a lot of the winter as well.
Yeah, it works out pretty well most of the time because we're quite slow in the winter. Just the snow.
So you can just
and
tell
the
them,
weather.
Peace out. Like, can I take this 2 weeks
off?
I'm
going on another trip, and they're like, "Are you? You're going on another one? Didn't you just go on one?" I'm like, "Yeah." But then they're cool
because there's a few other pilots I'm sure that are probably happy to have that work.
Exactly.
And then, and they're like, because you would probably get your a specific amount of hours or a specific allotment of shifts, right? When you're there?
Yeah, it's a little bit like
seniority based.
Yeah.
But still.
So, which is good.
But then you're not there. You can be like, hey, I'm kind of lower on the totem pole, so you don't really need me, right?
You don't need me, right? Yeah.
Well, that's amazing. That sounds like the greatest gig ever.
I know. It's the dream.
And it probably pays pretty well. I'm assuming being a helicopter pilot pays well.
It's not bad.
Yeah.
It's not great.
No. pays the bills. Like
yeah.
Because I was thinking like she's a helicopter pilot, does this. That's like a pretty specialized kind of job. So like, being a professional skier and getting to a level where you are, I think you've in the last couple of years, you and the crew have kind of elevated yourself into kind of a higher tier.
Yeah.
Where you are able to, kind of make a living on ski wages, I would think, or getting close to it.
Yeah, ish.
For the for the winter, anyways.
Yeah,
you know
for
what I
the
mean?
winter. Yeah,
But then being able to
Totally.
have that cool job is like probably really helpful to kind of like
Totally.
balance things out.
Yeah, it's quite a good balance.
Very neat. Because you also just bought a house in Squamish, you said.
Yep.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah.
And obviously, when you have a consistent paycheck, it helps with.
It definitely
mortgage.
helps.
Yeah.
It's definitely still way too expensive,
Mhm.
but we
It's-
split it 4 ways. So
Oh goodness.
yeah. we're not rich.
No. Well, it's Squamish. You'd have to
It's
be.
Squamish. You
Yeah,
have to
you'd
be
have-
like balling outrageous to
Yeah.
afford one of those things. So yeah, we split it 4 ways, but
And then are
it's working
4
out
people
really
living
well.
in the house?
Yep. Yeah, actually 6.
Oh goodness.
So it's kind of like a duplex. It's like split.
Okay. Oh nice.
So
So
it's
half
kind
and
of like
half.
2 and 2,
Oh
more or less.
yeah, that's smart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was it's been crazy, but it's good.
Really? Have you guys been wanting to get something like that for a while?
Yeah, I mean,
Just keeping
we're
your eyes open.
keeping our eyes open for the last like 3 years.
Renting is tough.
It is tough. Yeah. And moving a lot and like yeah. It's tough out there, but yeah. It's good. It's fun.
Exciting. Are you doing renos and stuff? Or are you?
Yeah, we did a ton of renos. Like as soon as we bought it, we like tore up everything. Did like the floors and the paint and just
So not only are you ditching work to go skiing on all these
Yeah.
trips, you're ditching all of the reno work too. Is that
Yeah.
kind of what's happening?
well, we've mostly got a handle on it enough that it was touch and go for a minute there when we first got it in December.
Oh yeah.
We just were like, oh, we'll get this done in 2 weeks.
Oh, you're like
which-
December, and you're like, I'm gonna go to Japan right away.
and then I was like, I gotta go. Oh, Cedar.
See, buddy.
Oh, you can't get down.
She's just sticking her butt in your face.
Are you okay?
What are you doing?
There you go.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Congratulations.
It's been great. It's been quite the learning experience. Like,
Yeah.
it's not like hard, but it's good to have experience doing some of these things. Like you think that you know how to do simple tasks around the house, and then it turns out it's way harder than you think.
Yeah, I painted this place last year, and I was installing the light switches, and they all worked fine.
So you get zapped?
No. I was pretty good with that. I was like replacing all the light switches just so they're like white instead of like yellow.
Oh yeah.
And
Yeah, we did
the
that.
ones in the kitchen weren't working. And I was like, why aren't they working? And I like undid them and I put new ones in and I was like, why aren't they working? And I was like losing my mind. I ended up calling my friend Dave, who's an electrician, and he comes over. He's like, oh, because these ones are in the kitchen. You got to just turn this little piece and snap that little piece off. I'm like, oh man, like I probably could have Googled that, but I
Yeah.
was like,
Just things that you just don't know.
they
Yeah.
just drive you crazy.
Yeah.
All right, so that's the helicopter, the helicopter stuff, because I didn't really know fully what it was either, and I purposely didn't ask you in the past because I was like, I'm gonna ask her one day on the podcast. It's shocking the amount of shit that I just hold back. And we've known each other for what, 5 years?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, all right, so that that was the second trip of the year. Was the brochure turns,
Yeah, that was the second trip.
and then you went to
Then I went to Wiggly's.
Wiggly's. How not
And I'm
long
like,
after,
5-star everywhere I go.
right?
So lucky this winter.
Just eating heli food and like lodge.
Lapping.
You know
yeah.
Callum, Lodge Man? Callum Pettit. He's got
Oh,
his
yeah.
like Instagram
Yep.
account, Lodge Man. That's like his
Oh,
alter.
I didn't know. Is it new?
No, he's been Lodge Man for a long time. He's like his alter ego.
Really?
Yeah, like whenever he's in a lodge, he's Lodge Man. He like really lives it up. You're like turning into Lodge Woman.
I am. Yeah. Yeah, I like it.
All right, so you go to Wiggly's.
Yep. With TGR
Okay,
for the first time ever filming
Mhm.
with TGR.
excellent.
Yeah, I got on that trip by way of Janelle.
Okay.
'Cause she had some back stuff going on. And she was like, you have to go on this trip because I can't go. I was like, I'm really busy. And then I was like, who turns down a free trip to
Yeah,
my
right?
place?
And that's
Nobody.
proof that the blondes are still a crew.
That's proof.
Because she's like, hey, you can take my spot
Yeah.
at Wiggly's, which is amazing. So
hyped.
was it like
Yeah.
so comparatively to the trip that you were just on, very different?
Very different.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. It was great. Yeah. It's fancy there.
Isn't it though?
Yeah.
I haven't been, but I know.
Yeah. It's good times.
So like being on a trip. Okay, so I want to fast forward because you were just on another heli trip
Yeah.
that you just got back from last week.
I'm gonna sound like such a dick. You were on how many heli trips?
You're totally sandbagging me here, man. Another heli trip. The whole like you're a helicopter pilot who's did nothing but gone on heli trips all winter. All right. So anyway, so this most recent one you were on was with MSP.
Yes.
Okay. So I obviously have to ask kind of the comparables between MSP
Ooh.
and TGR and if there are any things that you noticed that were kind of different in how things were set up or
Yeah.
or the crews or
That's interesting.
right
Yeah.
because they're in the past they've always been it's like one or the other. It's like TGR versus MSP kind
Yeah.
of that
Kind of.
that unspoken.
But a lot of people,
Well, recently-
Angel, like
rec-
back in the day though, Angel was in both.
Yeah, that's true.
You
But
know,
but like
there
from
was
a
lots of crossover.
that's true. That's
Yeah.
true. I'm not gonna do. But it's always.
But
it,
I know what
it
you
was
mean.
always kind of like
Yeah.
TGR,
Yeah.
MSP. It was always those two against you. Not like it,
The
they
main ones.
the main ones, but they're
Yeah.
never like
Big dogs.
battling each other. But there was always
No.
that like underlying like
Yeah.
is MSP is better this year? Is
Yeah.
TGR better? It's that kind of underlying
Yeah.
kind of rivalry sort
Definitely
of thing.
some rivalry.
So, but now like a lot of athletes do ski for both.
Yeah.
And more recently this year, in the same year, it seems recently, like athletes will be on the same movie, like in in both companies, like in the same year.
Yeah. I don't know if that is more recent.
No, I'm becoming. Just become more aware of it recently.
Maybe. Yeah. I just feel like back in the day you'd see like the mega stars
Yeah.
would be in both.
I guess so.
See them in both.
Hmm.
Yeah, maybe in different years though. I
Yeah,
don't know. We'll have to look into it.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'll have to ask Schmuck.
He'll know.
He's seen more ski movies than any person on earth. I can comfortably say that.
Oh yeah.
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 So we'll have to ask.
agree
We'll have to ask Schmuck. But did you notice any kind of a difference between the two?
It is different.
Just in vibes, or is it because of the group or the setting as well?
I mean, both are really good vibes. I would say MSP's more like the core, like they're like the OG, you know. They have like that.
That's how you feel.
That's how I feel.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's how I feel. Like
Versus-
they portray themselves, you know.
Oh, really? As like
we are
a little more
the
serious.
sickest.
Oh yeah.
Not more serious, like more
Hardcore.
hardcore.
Right.
Yeah.
And then TGR would be more like
Like
more lighthearted, goofy, or fun, or
no, they're quite serious. I would say
Mhm.
like they're dialed.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like when it comes, and I'm not necessarily.
got,
I'm not
like-
necessarily talking to like how they run their operation because we know that both companies are on point, right?
Yeah.
They're like
Yeah.
we're
They're obviously making it.
getting this stuff done. We're
Yeah.
keeping our athletes safe. We're
Mhm.
making sure that our budgets are on point, right?
Mhm. Yeah. No,
It's just
they
more like
both
vibe.
do great work.
You're
Yeah,
like,
it is different, but I'm having a hard time like
right.
why is it different? And I
Yeah.
don't know because it's both like super fun.
They're both the same,
Amazing people.
same but different, right?
Yeah.
And do you think maybe it's just because of the crews that were different, like the people that you're with?
Well,
on
that's
each
a
trip?
huge part of it too. Like
And
the
the- and-
athletes that you're with,
and the
then, like,
location.
the filmers as well,
Yeah,
and the location. It's like
because you were with Wiggly's for the first one,
yeah,
and then the
and
next
like
one.
everyone plays a part. Like the pilot, the guide, the staff,
Mhm.
the athletes, the filmers, the photographer.
So it's less of like the vibe of the vibe of the organization. It's just
Yeah.
more of like the vibe of the
It's
individual
like how
trip.
it unfolds. Like every
Yeah.
trip is different.
Yeah, it's just a trip that's
which is pretty cool.
interesting and different.
Mhm.
So, what was your favorite trip this year?
The one that I was just on.
Yeah, why?
Because it was Alaska and the terrain is insane
Hmm.
and we just got so lucky. Everything lined up for us and like the people out there were just incredible, and the snow was good, and the light was good, and
How
the
was it?
filmers were awesome, and everything.
Did you ski some? You didn't say that you skied like some great lines. I'm sure you did.
I think I did, but you know what? It was weather. Like when we got there,
Mhm.
it was like the classic Alaska. Everyone tells you, oh, you're going to be sitting for 2 weeks and spending all your money and just
Hurry up and
you
wait.
know.
Yeah.
And so we got there and it was like almost a full week of just clouds. We didn't get out at all, like
Mhm.
5 days at least. And then we thought it was going to get sunny. We were checking the weather, and then it did get sunny. But it got sunny the day earlier than we thought, so we kind of stayed up late. We were playing Catan, and we were like getting into like the slow roast, and then
Yeah.
we like, oh, it's blue, 5 a.m. We're like, okay, let's go. So we went, and then like the following 6 days, it was just full on, like
Wow.
5 a.m. till 8 p.m. 8 p.m. dinners, like getting home late,
Eat, stretch,
bed by
sleep.
10. No stretching.
No?
Just bed. Wake up. Go.
No time to stretch.
No time for anything. Yeah.
Were you just like physically crushed
there was
after
like
that
people
week?
skipping dinner, like just they're like, no, I'm good on dinner. It's like, what?
Really?
It was like full on. So I don't even know. Like, I think I did well. I think I did really well, especially for like one of the first times in Alaska, and I'm stoked. But honestly, like we just were full bore for the whole time that we were skiing there, so we didn't have like a lot of time to like check the footage and like
Right.
see if you were doing well.
So you're just gonna
and
have
I
to
was
wait
skiing
till
with those 3 maniacs.
Who?
The Carl, Crazy Carl, Carl Fossbit, Finn Billis.
Yeah, I love Finn.
He's amazing, and Colby Stevenson.
Wow.
Just
Skier of the year. I have 3
the
skier of the year
most
last year.
hardcore senders I've ever skied with, especially all at once.
Right.
So like being out there with them, it was a lot. I was like, am I
overwhelming?
Yeah, overwhelming, frustrating at times. Like I was like, I don't know. Can I ski? Like, am I good?
Right.
It's like, look at what they're doing. It's
Right.
just, yeah, it was crazy.
Do you find that you have like those thoughts a lot, or just like, because that's I see anybody could have those thoughts with those 3.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But if it wasn't those 3, and it was,
I mean, yeah, you still get them, but yeah, with those 3, it was like, whew.
But like knowing Colby and knowing Finn, they were probably like the most like supportive, rad partners to be out there with.
Oh
like,
yeah, they're like my brothers.
Yeah.
They were so funny. They're so supportive.
Were they like, you should go ski that?
So nice. Yeah. They were so nice.
So basically, you're saying is like next fall.
But also, they were like my siblings. We were like, that's my line.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, it was
Well,
so
paper
fun.
rock scissors for it and stuff.
Yeah.
Because then if you win a paper rock scissors on a line argument, you got to ski it well.
Well, then you have that added pressure. Yeah.
Yeah,
If
right.
you mess it up, they're not gonna pick you up at the bottom.
Or they're not gonna let you ski that line next time. Like, hey, remember what happened last time?
Remember that?
So basically, what you're saying is that next fall you're gonna be taking a lot of time off to go to premieres.
Hopefully. Yeah. I didn't really do that this fall. I was
You
too
didn't?
busy. Yeah.
You're working.
Yeah. I tried to, but
This could be like not your breakout year, but like I said, every year you and the other 2.
yeah, we kind of have like
you're
ebb
growing.
and flow, and
But you're growing.
Yeah.
Like every year you guys get a little bit bigger, a little bit bigger, a little bit bigger, a little bit more
Yeah.
established, where you're like veterans now. You're not like these young shit disturbers.
yeah, I don't know about vets, but
Well, you're kind of
like
getting
that
there because you're
middle.
already influencing the next generation of skiers,
That's
right?
true.
Like
Yeah.
I was talking to
I love
Janelle.
to see it. Yeah.
I think it was Janelle or Antonia.
Yeah.
About the dead Barbies.
Yeah, I
that's-
love those guys.
That's a
I love to see what they're up to.
perfect spin-off
Amazing.
of like, or influenced by the Blondes.
Yeah, I like to think that we were in influence. I think so.
Oh, 100% you were.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think
absolutely.
that's so cool.
Because they shred and they
so
have a lot
rad.
of fun, and it's like
Yeah.
you guys were a good catalyst for that. I think moving
Mhm.
forward. Like I was at the WSSF last week. You wouldn't have been there because you were probably
I was away.
heli skiing somewhere awesome. But like the young crews that are starting to come and really establish themselves in Whistler is really exciting.
Yeah.
Like Joey Kraft and his whole crew, and then the Dead Barbies crew, and like
Cool
I was
to see.
talking, I think it was Stinius, and he's like, "Man, the culture here is so wild," because he's from that little town in Norway,
Yeah.
And he's like, the culture here is just so amazing because like when I was here back in the day before Vail, like Whistler had the best team, like mountain team, without question.
Yeah.
They had like 50 passes, and it was like Macintosh, Abma, Kai, Pettits, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And that's just skiing, like Tatum, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. That's just skiing side. And then they had a snowboarding crew as well. And then Vail kind of cut all that, and a lot of those riders are getting a little bit older, and there wasn't really this like central rallying point now.
Yeah.
So it was like 3 or 4 or 5 years of like not really anything going on.
Yeah.
And then now with these new crews like starting to like create something again just out of nothing, because that's what they're here for.
Yeah.
It's getting really, really exciting.
It's really
And I think you guys were kind of a precursor for that, right? You know, with your intersection films and stuff, you know, just being loose and fun and having a good time and showing like, hey, it's not serious.
Yeah.
But we can shred and like jump on tables and have a good time. And
yeah.
I think that's really awesome.
Thanks.
Yeah, so that's why I say veteran, because
yeah, we've done it.
I called someone a veteran
Been out
on
there.
the free ride guide the other day, and whoever it was got mad. He was like, "What'd you call me a veteran for? I'm not old." I'm like, "It doesn't mean you're old. It just means you've been doing it for a little
it
while.
just means you know what you're doing.
Hey, you've established yourself, right?"
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool. So like, it's gonna be a big fall for you.
Yeah, hopefully. Yeah.
Think so.
I just have no idea, you know.
No.
When you just put it all out there and you try hard, and then they have everything and the editors are doing their work all summer long, and you're just like,
I guess I'll see it when I see it.
I hope it's good.
Are you gonna go? Has anybody ever given you opportunity to go do like an athlete edit or anything like that? Because I know Janelle does some editing with like CK9 crew and did a lot of the film.
Doing a bunch of that stuff with those guys last summer.
Yeah.
But she's kind of doing a little bit of her own stuff,
Mhm.
you know, now. I hope she continues that this summer. I'm not sure what her plans are exactly, but
They're good. They're good mentors, right? They had good mentors.
Super good.
They had the Sherpas as their mentors, right?
Yeah, those guys are unreal.
So would you
like
is that something that interests you though, to be like, hey, Em, do you want to do an athlete edit, like take your footage and then just create something for yourself with your footage?
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great.
Super.
All right, so let's get back to the thread here.
Mm-hmm.
So we've got through most of your trips.
Yeah.
On the film, How Did We Get Here?
Yep.
You ended up going to Norway, which I talked to Tanya about and Janelle about, and they said that was pretty amazing.
Yeah, that trip was.
But you guys also went to Troll Resort.
We did.
So this is the part where we kind of learn where you came from and like how you grew up, because you grew up on a ski resort. Like your parents operated a ski resort, right?
Yep.
Right.
Middle of nowhere.
So tell me about this. So where did you grow up?
So I was born in Calgary.
Okay.
And my parents ran like a small garden center
Okay.
in Bowness, across from COP.
Oh, no way.
And we skied at Sunshine.
Yeah.
That was like when I was really little.
Did you learn to ski at COP?
At Sunshine,
Okay.
I would say. But mostly at Troll. So my grandfather
Mm-hmm.
and my grandmother,
Mm-hmm.
they came over from Norway and they built Troll Resort.
Is that why you and Tanya got along so well? Because you have some Norwegian blood in you?
I would say so, yeah.
Yeah.
Norwegians are pretty like patriotic. They like each other.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so they built that, and
So they built Troll Resort.
They built
And
it.
where is it?
Yeah, it's 45 kilometers east of Quesnel,
And Quesnel is...
south of Prince George.
Okay, so kind of like 8-hour drive from here?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Mhm.
It's middle of BC.
Like Wells Gray Park? Is it near Wells Gray?
Not really.
No.
Bowen Lake.
I was just going to ask, is it near Barron Lakes?
It's on the road to Bowen Lake.
Oh,
Yeah.
excellent.
Yeah.
Okay.
Barkerville.
Barker, yeah. Yeah, Bowen Lakes is like the
Wells.
only like really decent canoeing circuit in like west of the Rockies.
It's awesome.
I haven't done it yet, but
You should.
I've had 3
so
trips
fun.
planned and they all got canceled.
You gotta go.
That's the
It's really
idea.
good.
That's
Lots
the
of
idea.
moose and
Because
clear
it's like a rectangle. You
Yep.
start and finish almost in the same place.
You do.
And it's like a 7 or 10 day trip if you want to do it that way.
Yeah. Yeah, you can do it like 3 and you can take as long as 10.
You've done it a few times?
Yeah.
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 I want to to do it so badly.
So fun.
All right, so a troll resort. So how big is this place?
Yeah, we moved there when I was like 9 or something.
Oh, so you actually moved there. So you grew up in Calgary till like 9?
Yeah.
And then moved to...
My grandfather passed away.
Okay.
And my grandmother like wasn't capable of running it herself. So my mom took it over and with us 3 kids, me and my sister and my brother. We moved there and we just ran it, and she's still running it now.
Really?
Yeah, it's 1,700 feet vertical.
1,700 foot vertical.
And it's all T-bars.
That's pretty sweet.
Yeah.
So that's where you
sweet.
like learned how to, you learned to ski at Sunshine and stuff. So it's like living there. So what was that like? You get 10 years old, you're being told you're moving in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, it was crazy.
You got to leave your friends, and then...
It was so fun. It was the best thing.
Was it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because you basically live on the resort? Like, were you living at the resort, or is like a little town nearby?
No, it was just us out there.
Really?
Yeah, couple neighbors.
Where did you go to school?
In Quesnel.
Oh, okay.
Take like a 45-minute bus into Quesnel.
Every day? Oh, good Lord.
Yeah, we were from the boonies.
And then so would you have like sleepovers? You'd like invite your friends to come over and like...
Yeah.
They'd
would
spend
come
the
out.
weekend out there?
I would mostly go into town, you know. We'd go and party or whatever. Not tell our parents.
When you were like 13 years old. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's nothing else to do.
No.
So what, did you end up having to do a lot of jobs when you're... Obviously, you probably know a lot about how a ski resort runs.
Yeah. We would, it was like the family farm. So we would always be doing something like kitchen or firewood or T-bar maintenance or mowing or whatever there is.
So like,
we were doing it.
obviously you would have gone out there a bunch when you were kids, when your grandpa was around still too.
Yep. Yeah. We went out there and like every Christmas.
And then so
more.
now you're living there, running a ski resort.
Yeah, in their house.
And they're like trying to figure out how it works. Like
yeah, my mom just took it on like herself.
Right.
Yeah.
And had she done any work there before either?
I mean, she grew up there.
Okay, so she had a good idea.
She had some idea, but it was very traditional. So like there was 1 boy and 4 girls, like my mom's family.
Oh, okay.
And
that's a tradition, like a Norwegian tradition.
No, the tradition is like the boy would take over the farm.
Right.
They were farmers in Norway, so.
Oh, okay. So
they
the ski
came
resort's
over.
the farm. Okay, I get
the
it.
farm.
Right.
So yeah, the boy so her brother was supposed to take it over, but he kind of flailed in and it didn't work out. So my mom was like stepped up and was like, I'll do it. And so she wasn't like taught much about it, so she had a lot to learn.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
So you lived there for how long?
Until I was done high school.
So like
10 years.
18 or something like that. And then you're like, get me out of this place.
Oh yeah. My mom would like always threaten us, like if we were out, like we were in school and we're like, oh, I don't know, not really working out. And she's like, well, you always gonna come home and help me. And we're like, nope. We ain't doing that.
I don't want to do that. I'm sure there's part of you now that like likes going to help out.
Oh yeah, love it. So fun. You know what you don't like doing as a kid? Like I love doing firewood now. It's like
Do
the
you?
best job. Yeah. I love it. But as a kid, you're like, this sucks.
And like, is that firewood for the house or for like the lodge or like
Everything.
What's the infrastructure like? How many T-bars?
So there's 3 T-bars. There's like a bunny hill and then like the mega T-bar. It's like the second longest in North America or something.
Yeah?
Pretty long. And then there's like an upper T-bar that runs on weekends.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's going to be another T-bar that they're setting up hopefully this summer.
Are you going to work the helicopter and fly in the...
It might be our company, actually.
Oh,
yeah.
how cool would
I
that
won't be doing it 'cause
Oh.
I'm not that skilled, but one of the guys that
You'll be on the ground.
lot more
That's sweet. So they're going to open up some terrain.
Yeah.
So it's doing well, the resort?
Yeah, really well. Yeah. They think they got like a community grant and stuff, so
Is there decent
exciting
terrain? Is there
times.
decent terrain there?
There's
like...
really there's good. It's like tree skiing. It's nothing like too extreme, but it's like the most fun place, especially for families and stuff to go out and hang out. And they just let their kids run wild. Like they're not gonna get lost or
Right. There's no big ravines or whatever. It's
pretty good.
Is there like gladed runs?
Yeah, they do a lot of glades and. Yeah.
Did you have to go and start chopping?
We did a bit
down?
of that. Yeah, I wasn't. They didn't really like teach me how to run the cat and stuff once they started grooming and whatnot. Because I was the girl, but hey.
You could roll up there now and be like, "Hey, show me how this thing works."
I have like a few years ago. I was running the cat a little bit. Well, not running it, but they were showing me how. But we rolled it into a ditch. So.
Put it into a ditch?
Yeah. Which isn't that unusual, but.
This thing's just like a big snowmobile.
I was like,
He's like, I did this on my snowmobile too.
It's way harder to get unstuck.
That's sweet. So do you see that yourself ending up in that position the way, like how your mom did?
No, she's working at passing it off right now, actually. To a guy that's been working there a long time, because it's too much.
Right.
To run for her. She's getting older, so.
It's still pretty cool though. Like you grew up with your family owning a ski resort.
Yes.
Or
awesome.
a resort.
Yeah.
What's the clientele there? Is it just like locals from like Quesnel? Like,
just
do you
locals.
have many people from out of town coming?
No, more so in the last few years. They've made like a little, they call it the trailer town, where people have like brought in like old school buses and like old RVs, and they park them there, and
it's like cabins.
Yeah.
It's like their ski cabin is like
it's so cool, actually. They have like starting to get more of like a community there.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so they're starting to come up a little bit more from Williams Lake, which is the town just one south, and then Prince George a little bit. But they have Powder King
right
north of them. So
how far away is Powder King from Troll?
It's probably it's 3 hours.
Oh, it's a ways.
Yeah.
So when you go, obviously, like, you're Emily from the Blondes, right? Is there like a big poster of you like skiing something red, like up on one of the big walls in there when you walk in, and then boom, you're right there.
Me and the girls have one of our posters from the MSP films a couple years ago. Put
like
on the
big,
wall.
like big giant.
No, it's regular size. Like one of those guys.
Oh, that's it.
We're not the biggest dogs, no. But we actually have quite a cool fan base there. Just like
I would think
the
so.
Kids are just
probably they lose their minds.
Crew.
Yeah.
So when we went and filmed that part of our film there, that they were just so hyped. They were like, "We gotta go out!" So we went and did a day with them. We went ski touring just up the road from the hill, and it was awesome.
Yeah, I
Kids
bet.
were so stoked.
Well, you guys are like superheroes, right?
They're like, well, the kids are superheroes. They're just like, the kids are like, check me out. Let me show you this jump. And they're just like,
you probably show them a lot of what they think they can do, right? It's like that representation is like,
yeah.
Oh, I didn't know I could do that because I've never seen anybody where I'm from do something like that, right?
Yeah,
like
it's pretty cool.
I remember I was talking to Alex Hall, and he and Hunter ended up going to like the Midwest to these like little resorts, and they're like, oh my God, they're here. And like people just were crazy, and everybody comes out because like
cool.
You're one of the biggest ski personalities or ski professional athletes, ski stars, whatever you want to say it, that's out there now. Like you're, one of the big
Troll. The only one
from Troll. And then when you roll and you represent your home, and when you roll back in, it's probably
cool.
a big deal, right?
It's cool.
You're up there on the hill and you don't tell anybody, and some kids like, oh my God, Emily's here. And all of a sudden all these kids just kind of show up to the hill that day or the next day,
Yeah.
Do you I know you're pretty laid back, but are you comfortable with like people now approaching you like out of like the outside of the the film premiere landscape, when you see other people be like, oh hey, like on the hill or something, recognizing you, like, hey, are you Emily? Like, can you?
Honestly, it doesn't happen very much.
Oh no. Damn it. Maybe now.
Mostly just heli skiing, so.
Okay, fine. Then you've got like the heli clients being like, oh my God, are you Emily's
No, they don't know who I am.
Maybe soon. You never know. Maybe soon.
Maybe.
So when tell me the story of how, I want to hear your version of the story, how you met the other two.
Okay. We met in Revelstoke when we all moved there.
Oh, we didn't touch on that part last time.
No?
Of course we did. It's the most important part. Sorry.
I was like, what? How did we tell the story
Not
last
talk
time?
about Revis, yeah.
Yeah, we all met there. I met Tanya through skiing the hill, but like the first time we like really hung out and connected was at Red Mountain. We were doing a ski comp, FWQ there, and we skied the same line. She skied it first and skied it like faster and crashed.
Yeah.
And then I skied it, followed her track and landed it, and we both got the Sick Bird Award
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, dope.
That was like our first like
Then did you have
friendships.
short pink hair at this point?
Yeah, it was like blonde, bleach blonde,
Hmm.
like this short.
Yeah, I heard it was like short, pink, and punky.
Yeah.
Right?
I cut it like this short originally.
Right?
Yeah, but I looked like a boy, so
Mm.
and I dyed it blonde.
Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. And then I met Janelle like skiing the hill, and we were like skiing the park or something. And yeah, I just thought she was a super good skier, and I was like, who's this lady? And yeah, I don't know, we were like all wanted to start a ski crew, and then we all kind of made the same friends. We had some good friends up from Idaho, from Salt Lake in Idaho, and we were skiing with them a bunch and partying and tearing up the town. And then we decided to get snowmobiles, and that was
Wasn't it
that
a
was the start of
snowmobile?
everything. Well, they got one. Janelle
Yeah.
and Tawny got one, and then I got a sketchy one from way up north.
Right? A leftover from the resort.
No, I bought it. It was like $5,000. It was like the most expensive thing that I owned for sure
Right.
at the time. And then this little broken down truck that only started sometimes, and yeah, and that was that.
That was that. Yeah. And then so you should go back and listen to kind of their story because all three stories are similar, but they all have
Slightly different.
well, they're similar, but you all have your different kind of spins on it, but that's kind of like the same thing.
Yeah.
But I think they're like, yeah, Emily, she was like doing these rad things. She had like short purple or pink hair or something like that, like as a punk. Just the way that you guys remember. In like how it's interesting how you have your own memories, but how like you put a little spin on them or a little spice
You
on them,
always remember them a little bit different. Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Yeah, that's funny.
And then so you came out for the helicopter deal.
Yeah.
And then were you the first one to come out? And they're like, well, we might as well go out there too.
Tanya and I both came out kind of at the same time.
Right.
Maybe she was a little bit after, but
That's right. Janelle was like a year behind.
yeah, a year or two, honestly. I think she stayed in Rebbe for two more years, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then this is like her first summer she'll be out
Yeah, I
here.
guess so. Hey.
Yeah.
Were you guys, I know obviously you came out for work, but there's that sentiment from people out east, in the Kootenays being like, oh, Whistler,
Yeah.
oh, the Hollywood or West Vegas, or, oh, you're selling out going to Whistler.
Yeah,
Was there a
yeah.
little bit of that deep down when you first, well, obviously you're coming for work, so you're like, I don't care, but like,
Yeah. Not really. I mean, it's funny. You can say that and everything, but it is just like such a convenient place to live if that's what you want to do.
right.
There's filmers and there's terrain, and it's so easy to Vancouver and like go other places.
You got the airport, you got access to sled terrain, some of the best in the world. You've got the best ski touring
So good.
zones in the world. You've got filmmakers, photographers, creatives, other athletes
Mhm.
from skiing and from snowboarding.
Yeah.
All sorts of media types, magazines, podcasts. Like this is like one of the hubs, right?
Yeah.
So it is what it is. Like you can hate on it all you want, but there's a reason why all
Yeah.
of these things are here.
Yeah.
Because this place is awesome.
Yep.
Did you ski the hill at all this year? Did you even have a pass?
Nope.
You didn't? He's like, I was just going to go heli. I was just planning on heli skiing all season, so whatever.
I skied a couple days. We did like a little shoot up there with Atomic, but
Mm-hmm.
no, it's different now. The
Mhm.
hill, the
Mhm.
whole experience,
You never really,
driving up, parking. Yeah.
so you never really spent a lot of time skiing
I'm
on
from
the hill here.
Troll, so it's like
Yeah,
different.
walk out the door and snap in, and you're up. That's kind of like where I'm fortunate for living so close. And then even sometimes it's, I don't know, I don't think I'd ski as much if I lived farther away.
Yeah, the road is. Yeah.
It just
busy
it can be a bit of a hassle. You gotta love it, like
Mhm.
I've been here 20 something years now, so I don't have that like urge to get that 100 days
Yeah.
just to have that 100 days.
Yeah.
I still like to ski as much as possible. I'll still do like 70 plus
Mm-hmm.
easy,
That's
but
pretty good.
with traveling and stuff. But like, yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah, I mean it's just as easy to take the sled out and go and do some laps with your friends.
Yeah, true. And it's halfway between where you live and here anyways, right?
Yeah.
Like I'm a resort skier, so I've always been like, I like lifts.
Yeah.
I like knowing that I can ski a line and I know exactly what it's going to be like. I know that it's controlled and I don't have to worry about, I always have my gear with me.
Yep.
Even inbounds, this is the force of habit. You never know if you're going to go for a walk or something,
Might
but
as
like,
well, yeah.
but just knowing that I can go, and I always worked at nights too. So just knowing that I can like go and shred 4 or 5 laps of POW and not have to really worry about it, know where I'm going, know how to get there and then go home.
Yeah. Then you're just
It's
quick
easy,
and-
right? So it's just like, I guess, different strokes for different
Yeah.
folks.
That is what I miss about skiing the resort.
Mm-hmm.
Just like you
They-
can do a couple laps and then go, but it's to do a couple laps on a weekend is like
Yeah, I don't even do that much.
Not
Like
gonna do
I'll
that.
ride my bike in. Like I don't drive as much anymore. I
Yeah.
I probably shouldn't really because I live right here, but it's just so convenient. And I'll say it's because I'm lazy. But yeah, exactly right. Like if that Squamish Hill opens, you'd probably be like, all right, dope.
yeah, go
Let's-
up for a few laps for sure.
Yeah.
I have a gondola pass too, so get up there sometime.
Oh, 'cause you can
And then
ski
go for a
tour.
tour. Yeah,
Right. And then do you gondola back down?
yeah. If there's
Can you even ski down to the bottom?
no,
No.
don't
I
know
guess not.
where
Yeah,
it's from
Squam.
that.
Yeah, on a good year, like the 1 in 20.
Yeah,
Like the super.
this year coming up.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah. All right.
it's gonna be epic.
So can you explain to me on another like side tangent your love for Savage Garden?
Oh, sure, I love it.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
grew up listening to it.
Did you?
I don't know why you don't like it.
I
know what you have against it.
I don't dislike it.
Oh,
Just not.
Really?
I
That's
just
not what I heard.
because I told you that. That's just not my style of music. But I remember once you told me, like, I think while you were dancing on that table, how much you
Well,
much
I
you
think
loved
it
it.
started because you said something about not liking it because it played at the restaurant you worked at.
No, that's
I
Dire
know.
Straits.
Oh, that was Dire Straits.
Yeah. Dire
Oh,
Straits.
Where
That-
did Savage Garden come from?
I don't know. You were
I don't
listening to
know.
Savage Garden like one night at the house.
I know where that came from. Yeah, I remember the exact time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you had a crank. You're like,
That
this
was
is
super fun.
great. And you're
I was
singing.
Like, wow, this is
I was like, wow, what is this? I don't think I've ever met a Savage Garden fan before. And Dire Straits, I
Few
think
and far between.
I think they're good musicians. I know Jordy has a problem with me because a big problem with me. Martin Knopfler's the greatest
I'm
guitarist
very
of all
mad
time.
about
But I had listened to that best of CD every single day, 5 or 6 times a day for an entire summer. And I was like, I don't ever want to
That's
hear
fair.
money for nothing and chicks for free ever again as long as I live. But that was that's a different story.
Yep.
But yeah, like I said, I don't think I ever met anybody that was like so stoked on Savage Garden as you. And I actually started listening to some of the songs. I'm like,
They're
no,
pretty good. Hey?
yeah, they're great. Sure.
You like them.
That's why I
That's
was.
okay.
That's why I was
You know.
kind of bummed you got here early because I had like the I had the playlist set up for you.
Lined up.
I had them all lined up. Yeah. Anyways, when you're like flying the helicopter, do you get to listen to tunes, or are you
I
allowed
don't
to?
listen to music.
Can you?
no.
Are you allowed to?
I mean, yeah, you can do whatever you want. But
Is there like a radio in the helicopter that
think
patches into the
it would
headphones?
be too distracting for me.
I
like when
wanna
I'm
stand
driving,
with you.
Like I will speed up if some Savage Garden comes on. You know, you're like, yeah,
You're just like-
grooving.
You're just like,
yeah, you get carried away, and you don't want to. You want to be focused. So
That's
yeah.
your pump up too. So like, say you're like about to drop in on some like some super sick Alaskan spine, and you're
I
like,
wanna stand with you on a mountain. Right?
yeah, crank it up. That could be
Actually, no.
that could be your
not
that could be your like athlete edit song.
Would that vibe? I don't know if that would be a vibe.
I think you could make it. But it's your athlete edit.
It's true. It's
you,
mine. Do
like I
whatever
said,
want.
if you ever get an invite to do it,
If
I think
it sucks, it sucks. Whatever.
it doesn't matter. I think if you have like the gnarliest skiing in there and you can like patch that song into it, just to like, this is who I am.
This is what I like.
This is how I represent. This is how I want to represent myself to the world.
Maybe. I'll think about it.
Right. All right. All right. Wrapping up.
All right.
Sponsors. It's a good time to shout out your sponsors out. Who
Oh.
are you sponsoring?
Yeah.
Sponsored by
Sponsored by the North Face.
North Face
And Atomic.
and Atomic
And Smith.
and Smith.
And that's it.
Oh yeah,
I think so.
and the helicopter company that you work for
Yeah.
indirectly,
Indirectly sponsored.
because they give you a lot of time off. So that's kind of like
Yeah.
right. Like
It's
we're
quite nice.
sponsoring you by allowing you this time away from us.
hmm
So to
No, they're
speak.
great.
right?
Yeah.
And yeah, North
Super
Face is good. They
fortunate
got
of them.
good stuff. They got some good
Oh man,
sweatpants
the
that you
North
didn't.
Face has been unreal.
Good
Yeah.
sweatpants that you didn't want on the camera, but they're not on that camera. They're on that camera.
No, I was hoping they would be on the camera.
Oh yeah, they are for sure. This one.
Oh, good.
Yeah. And then you're drinking a Fat Tire too, which is nice.
Yeah, they've been a great sponsor in the past.
Shout out our old friends, Fat Tire. They're no longer
Hopefully
with us.
we
But
do something in the future with them. They've been great.
yeah,
They sponsored the project, so
Tyler Weedy.
yeah, great guy.
Yeah, it's Fat Tire.
Yeah.
You know, I still drink the Fat Tires. They're not a part of the sponsors of the show anymore, but
Yeah,
they were great for a long time.
Yep.
Shout out Tyler Weedy and the Fat Tire crew.
Yep.
It was hard to get. They were hard to get up here though. Apparently, that was
yeah. I wonder why.
They had a bunch of like organizational issues.
Political.
No,
things?
organizational issues. Just
Oh.
like the people that are in place to make things happen. It was
I see.
It was a Canada thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was just like a Canada thing.
Yeah,
So whatever, out of my pay grade.
same.
But it's still delicious. Delicious
good.
beer.
Yeah,
Right?
great guys.
We
too.
actually talked about the Caribou Blondes story,
nice.
how that came about,
Yeah.
all that sort of thing. Yeah. What's your angle on it?
Why we changed the name or why we had it
Yeah.
in the first place?
Yeah. What's your version of the story?
We were just thinking of names and the Caribou, like that's where I'm from. And I thought it would be a fun name to be the Caribou Blondes after the beer.
Because you guys are drinking a bunch of it.
Yeah. Yeah. We were. It was the cheapest beer. One of the cheapest beers.
Yeah.
So yeah. And then we're like, maybe they'll sponsor us if we like name ourselves.
And what did they end up giving you?
They gave us I think 3 flats.
Yeah, that's it. Oh no, helicopter crash.
Oh no.
Helicopter's down.
I keep breaking the
I'd
off.
rather you break this one than the other ones that you'd fly.
Same.
Yeah. So that's what when I heard that story, I was like, "What? You guys changed your name and they gave you 3 flats of beer and that's it,
They gave us 3 flats.
And, like,
we're
some
we
keychains
have to
and shit.
drop these guys.
some keychains and shit." So when you guys get together as like brand conversations or like, because you did speaking of Smith, you guys did a goggle together,
Yeah.
like a
Yeah.
Smith Pro goggle and all this stuff. Do you guys have like business meetings? Are you get?
Yeah, and
I know
we
how-
tried to be more business.
Because I know
in
how
the
goofy you
past.
guys are
Yeah.
together. Like you guys
Yeah,
have.
It's hard.
You guys are loose and have a really fun time.
Mm-hmm.
Is it hard for you to just be like, all right, let's focus here.
Let's focus. Well, we tried to get a manager,
Mhm.
which was Janelle's brother,
Okay.
Derek, and he was really great, but I think we were too much, He's just like, I don't know
Right.
how to wrangle you guys.
As a crew.
Yeah,
Right? So now it's
yeah.
just kind of up to you guys.
Yeah. So we're working it out, but
Yeah. Well, and it's good because like after the 3 conversations that I've had, I love like because I know you guys all well and I love that you're just doing your own things but still with underneath the Blondes umbrella
yeah.
because there hadn't really been before you guys came around, there hadn't really been a crew,
Yeah, no, there wasn't really,
right? So
as far as I know.
that's sweet. It's awesome seeing you guys excel individually,
Mm-hmm.
and then whenever you guys do get together for a mission or a trip or whatever, it's gonna be that much more special,
Yeah.
right?
I'm really excited for next winter. I think we'll make something special again, but we'll see.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for coming.
Thanks for having me. It's been so fun.
It's glad to have you guys back in the studio here
Yeah.
from the first time. Because you and Tanya were here, but Janelle was
Janelle was on the FaceTime.
on the FaceTime on the computer. Yeah.
Yeah, 'cause she was
Oh.
still in Revy.
That's
Yeah.
right. Yeah, and we had some Fat Tire socks for you guys.
Oh, yeah.
And you were so jacked on socks. You're
Love
like
socks.
you're like nice socks. That's something I've
I
actually
still
learned.
have those.
That's something I've learned about that, like skiers.
They love socks.
They love free socks because you guys are always traveling around. You only have a limited amount of pairs, and they probably get pretty gross. Like I was on a trip, like a CMH Icon trip last
You
year.
only need one pair.
Yeah, right. A pair of Descent Labs, they don't stink. But they like Icon had some socks, and the couple of the athletes were like, "Oh yeah, like hey, do you have any more of these? Like, can we have a couple pairs?" We're like, "Oh yeah, sure." Like toss them like 3 pairs each, and it was like Christmas. I've never seen anybody so stoked in my life. So now I've been thinking, I'm like, I might have to do some like LPP socks and then give people socks as like gifts when they come on the show. Be like, here's a pair of socks.
That'd be smart.
right?
I mean, I love socks.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, thanks, Emily, for coming.
Thanks for having me.
You're the third of the
Great.
blondes, so we're going to end this LPP season 11,
Dang.
right here.
Congrats.
Thanks for being a part of it.
Thanks for doing all the work.
I appreciate it. Thanks for coming, pal. Thanks for listening, everybody. See ya.
You've been listening to the Low Pressure Podcast, the podcast for skiers. This has been a Redmark Media production.